They split parts. WWE said all the right things, but then almost immediately that fan base
they all turned on them. Quick as hell.
Absolutely.
Like 2-3 months ago, they were calling her the greatest to ever do that. And now she is a traitor. She's a turncoat. Oh my God, you're gonna go to AEW. Even though she didn't even say that,
Yeah, even though she said, "Hey, that's not what I want to do. I want to go do my music." And then I saw people saying, "Oh, well, she got a name from WWE, and now she's leaving after." I saw stuff like that. I saw all sorts of just crazy, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why? It's like, how do you read what was said? And the fact that WWE is still doing WWE things and not letting people do outside projects without their approval, which that's very much what this sounds like it was. And she said, well, if you're not going to let me do this, I don't care. I'll just walk because it doesn't matter. But yeah, and I don't even think she's she annoyed me as a ring announcer.
I fucking hated her.
Because I feel like
she growls too much.
They all do. Anytime you hear any of them, it's very much like they're trying to do Lenny Hart.
It's the house style.
Yeah, but it sounds like they're trying to do Lenny Hart.
The fake crying and all that shit. Nah, didn't like her.
Like they're trying to do Lenny Hart from Pride, and none of them are her. Like none of them can do what she like all of these people that freak out about, oh, I love the way that WWE does this. I'm like, if Lenny Hart did a WWE show, you guys would I don't even know.
Who is this woman?
Honestly, I feel like they're more intimidating like Stephanie's growling, and she was just imitating Vince's growling. So I think it just all goes back to Vince, I think.
Maybe. It's just
they're just trying to do that Vince growl.
Weird.
Which just sounds bad.
But yeah, I think it's really weird. I think and lo and behold, that was to the end. How many places are really going to talk about what we're talking about right now? Almost none. It's sad. I get that WWE is going to be able to do what WWE is going to be able to do. They're going to be able to get away with this shit, but it is annoying as fuck when so much of it is stuff that people known about, talked about, tried to talk about. People are told, oh, there's no evidence of that. There's no this, there's no that. And then we get it, and people are just like, who cares?
You know what's funny? I'm glad you brought up weaponizing the fan base, because AEW fans get on my nerves, but it's always funny when someone leaves AEW for the WWE and instead of the inverse, someone leaving WWE for AEW. Because if someone leaves AEW and goes to the WWE, most of the AEW fan base be like, good riddance. Right. Goodbye. I'll see you later. Somebody leaves the WWE, they're every child of God. They're everything under the sun, man, because it's a cult. It's a goddamn cult. Vince McMahon, the story came out about Vince McMahon, and then this motherfucker comes out on SmackDown, and the crowd's bowing to him and cheering and all this stuff. It's like if they want you to feel a certain way, and they tell those fans to feel this way. It wasn't like that before, because it seemed like the crowd was just full of a gumbo of all sorts of wrestling fans. That's why the Summer of Punk happened the way it did. That's why the Brian Danielson thing happened the way it did. That's why Roman Reigns just get booed out the building, whatever he did, because it seemed like at least some of the crowd were free thinkers in some sort of way. They didn't just go along with everything this company has done. And props to them for running all those people off, somehow growing a fan base of the zombies. You know what I mean? And every promoter in some sort of way wishes that they could do something like that. Of course. But they pulled it off, man. It's crazy. It's wild. It's wild. And they're all fucking strange. All of you are strange. Everyone that fucking decides to not follow me on Twitter, yet comment on my Twitter post because you disagree with them, you're a fucking weirdo. Everybody that Johnny 5454 XX55 Johnny bunch of numbers, you that spends all day with all just comments to people and replies to people instead of actual fucking thoughts, you're part of the problem, you weirdo. You know what I mean? They're not regular people. They're just bots, man. It's very strange.
I posted that video of a couple weeks ago with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in the stadium promo, and I was just like I don't want my wrestling to ever look like this. And like the onslaught of comments from the bots, like you said, just came after me. It was just insane. I muted it. I haven't even gone back, but I just see it's like hundreds of people that have probably just, cursed me under the sun because I said I didn't like this or anything at all. They're just, I don't know. Not saying like, fans of other promotions can't do that. I see goofy ass TNA fans online all the time. It's always that same guy. I don't know his name, but I see him all the time.
Weird Puro fans,
yeah,
weird Yoshi
absolutely.
fans. Weird Lucha fans. They're
like there's weird fans in every fandom. There is.
But it's just when it's them, when it's the top dog, it's just, I don't know. It's a different level of like.
Some of them are redheaded and should have bought 2 seats.
Wow. Wow. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut, Chase. That's a deep
Phoenix
cut.
Brandon.
I don't understand. Why would it be that guy? Was he saying something? You just hate on that guy for no reason. Hate on that dude for no reason, man.
He stunk.
Hey, man. It is what it is.
Wash your ass.
Deep cut. That's a deep cut. But anyways.
No one's talking about this. They're talking about Dave saying that thing about Shelton Benjamin. That was what? Dave said something about Shelton too old or something. What did he say, Sean?
He said So they're doing Sammy Guevara versus Shelton Benjamin on Dynamite this week, and it's pretty obvious that Shelton's winning because he's wrestling Swerve the following week. And Dave basically made the comparing it to when in the early part of the Hogan era in TNA, Christopher Daniels basically jobbed out to Val Venus, which it doesn't.
That was crazy. I remember that.
Which doesn't work in this example, really, because it's not like Sammy came off of main eventing pay-per-views right before that, which Daniels did in that case. And, as great as Sammy Guevara is, and even though he is a younger talent, like he's not
Christopher Daniels.
No. Yeah, he's not at that level that Daniels was at that point. He wasn't in the main event slot. If anything,
there's a point to pushing.
Yes.
Shelton, because you're getting ready for another guy to come in. By the way,
and when the other guy comes in,
yeah, but here's the thing. When that other is Shelton looks massive in AEW. I want to say that. When Lashley shows up, that dude's going to look like the absolute freak that he is. Like, I don't think people realize, like, because he's 6. Is he 6'3"? How big is Lashley? Is Lashley,
I don't know.
He's gonna look like a freaking.
He's 6'3". Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, I just want to point that out.
Yeah, but it's just the idea, like, I sort of get that initial comparison, but it quickly falls apart because again, like Sammy's even been, he's not even where he was like a year ago. Like a little over a year ago, he was, in the world title program, and he's fallen down the card since then, and he's not.
Yeah, it seems like they even given up on him on that level.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. Sammy's not a guy who's ever going to be a top guy. It's not going to happen. So I don't get
if you want to make the comparison of it. It's another WWE guy coming in and beating. Yeah, I get that. But to me, there's a reason why you're doing this, and there's a bigger picture reason why you're doing this. This isn't just you bringing in Val Venus and having him beat, Christopher Daniels for no reason whatsoever. Like you have a reason for doing this. So,
and then when Lashley comes in, Shelton gonna lose all the time. So
like
he's gonna be the guy that eats the pins for whatever that unit turns out to be.
It's times like this where I feel like Dark and Elevation are really missed because at least those programs at least gave some of these guys who lose on TV all the time wins. So it's not like they're total nobodies, but Dark hasn't been a thing in a year. So
ever since Collision,
yeah, there was a lot more discussion on that than.
Yeah, Dave, you dropped the ball with that one, sir. I don't know what the hell you was doing with that.
Yeah. Like I said, if you want to make the comparison of, hey, do you really want to have another WWE guy come in and beat one of your, like, homegrown people, I can understand that. But to me, it's very evident that there's a bigger purpose to this, especially since you're talking about feuding with arguably one of your top guys. So, anyways, I get his point, but that's
unless Dave is still that high on Sammy Guevara, but I don't know how you could be.
anyway.
You know.
You got any thoughts about NXT running 2300 arena?
No, why are we talking about this? No, see, I said before this show I wasn't going to yell at all. Why would you bring that up? Why?
Because I wanted you to go off. That's why. It's not but I don't understand. It's not the same building, bro.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I don't care.
2300 is so much different than what people remember. ECW Arena, CZW Arena.
I don't care.
You come in through the side of the building instead of the corner now. They have AC. It's good. It's good that they have AC. It's not the same building. But
I don't care. Nikita Lyons might wrestle in the ECW arena.
Okay,
and that turns my stomach, Brandon. That should turn everyone's stomach. What the hell, man?
Lexus King.
What Markeem, it's going to be the night that Nikita Lyons danced atop the ECW arena.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. No.
Maybe they'll debut. What's homegirl everyone's excited about? They've never seen a single match from her. What's her name? Delta? Yeah, all these NXT fans are going crazy. Oh, Delta's coming. They ain't watched nothing of her. They don't even know who she is. They're going to go crazy for her.
Also, they're going to have that weird WWE hardcore match in this arena because ECW.
Who's showing up? Which ECW original is showing up?
Bully Ray.
Bully? You think Bully?
Probably.
He just had a great match over this past weekend. I don't know if you saw that match.
Oh no, which one? They both stunk, man.
That's true. That is true.
Back to back.
But hey, this does bring up, like, I don't know why, and I think other people have been saying it, like, Tony Khan, why haven't you jumped in front of them and started to run these venues? Again, I don't think the 2300 arena is all that special, but it does serve a purpose with these wrestling fans. As you can see, they're very nostalgic for this building that's just painted.
Why don't you run ROH? Why don't you run ROH at that building? Why don't you run ROH at Hammerstein? Why don't you
Agree. Yeah. And now GCW going back to Hammerstein before you had a chance to get there.
How we feel about it? We're gonna talk about that, or what's the deal with that?
Give me a card. Or don't even give me a card. Just tell me who's gonna actually be on the show.
Oh, I know what one match you're probably gonna get. It's gonna be Alley Catch versus Effie, probably. Yeah.
And like, here's the thing.
That's fine. That's
for that fan base, cool. But I don't think it's gonna pack it. I don't think they're gonna sell it out the way they did before. Because a lot of people were trying GCW because it was the hottest thing online that wasn't one of the big two companies. And then so many people bought that show and so many people got burned that it will not do nearly the business it did before.
Are they gonna do this one on pay-per-view again? Or are they
what you mean?
I would do just Triller. I would do just Triller.
Yeah, they're probably.
That's what I would.
I see what you're saying. Like a traditional
pay-per-view, because that was the other big thing is they were doing.
Yeah,
it was going to be it was traditional pay-per-view. It was all of that stuff.
And I was there. I was at that show.
Oh God, you were. Oh Jesus.
And I mean, there was good stuff on the show, but the problem is that the bad stuff outweighed the good stuff.
If there wasn't a botch, there
was that Lucha 3-way.
Okay.
It was a 6-man, and if there was a big botch like right near the end of the match,
right?
And if they had pulled, I think it was Gringo Loco and somebody else. If they had pulled that spot off, I would have gone 5 stars on that match. It was that good.
Okay, what else is on that show?
And then there's that
Jeff Jarrett versus Effie.
Like, come on, man! Come on, man!
No. There's that. There's the
ladder match
scramble,
where
the scramble. Yeah. The scramble was pretty fun. Like, it was fun. I wouldn't call it, but then everything else was
the Briscoes getting pissed off at Nick Gage's long ass entrance.
Yeah,
the match
was like 5 minutes, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing is the
see,
GCW fans complain that, well, that show wasn't a true GCW show. Okay, so then give us a big time GCW show and give us two.
That pissed me off because the next week they put on a great show. I'm like, why did you do that in Hammerstein with all these people? Oh, see, I said I wasn't gonna yell. See, that's the thing, man. That's what pisses me off.
Are you gonna give us like two really big? Because they should do this. Two really big time death matches. Like,
well, they can't because of New York, right?
I mean,
you can, because that New York show, the first one didn't have any, like, it had that ladder match and it had a couple hardcore matches, but nothing was, I would even consider a death match on that show.
Maybe you can get close to the edge, though. You can
just
doesn't have to necessarily be like a death match per se, but you can get close to it.
You can do some stuff.
I don't think they can do like what could they possibly book that would make.
That's what I mean. I mean, like you would have to spend money and bring people over from Japan and like have something.
Don't you dare say Yu Kasai? Don't you dare?
Did I say that? Did I say that? No.
And I'll just say, so I think the tickets have been on sale for a couple of days now. There is plenty available.
Well, they're
gonna have to have a card with this one. Like the building's not gonna sell.
Yeah. Well, I think when they put it on sale, and again, this is probably just because it was the first time, but I'm pretty sure it sold out relatively quickly the first time.
Oh yeah, people were, when they announced that they were going to do it, people got excited because it was like good for, like, I remember, I think all of us were kind of like, we're not GCW fans, but good for them for trying this.
Hell, I fucking had a live Twitter thingamabob where I was talking about how they should be commended, and this is the most people ever be in Hammerstein Ballroom, and props to them. I said we should all support this show. That's what I said.
Right. I mean,
boy, I wish I could have that back. Jesus.
But I think that, I don't know. They need to have, and I'm just gonna say this, they got to have somebody other than Joey book this show. Because you cannot have, this cannot be, that's the other thing. Can't be a Joey book show. It's got to be somebody else that understands how to book a big show, because he's not booked a good big show in years.
Since like 2020, 2021
years. I mean, he's got good ideas, but then they like he doesn't understand how far things need to be taken.
Oh my God, Mance Warner and Joe. We've talked way too much about the show. Mance Warner and Joey Janela. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Joe Koff passed away.
Yeah, there we go.
We go something sad after that, man.
Yeah.
Real quick. Point about the writers, though. I think this is a good point to talk about Carlito, right? Fuck those people for trying to throw that man under the bus. Because two things, right? You can tell people, he ad-libbed it. All right, then why does the camera pan to him? Why does everything stop? And why does everything pause after he says that line? You know why? Because that's the punchline. Because somebody wrote that, and then for their fucking PR, because that's all that matters to these people, not the truth. The PR is, well, they probably pulled Carlito in the office and like, hey man, we're gonna say that you ad-libbed that. It just looks a little better, even though you wrote this shit. Pay that man. If you're gonna do that, pay that man. Pay that man so much money. And I hope 10 years from now, Carlito gets to tell that story about what actually fucking happened, because racist ass Triple H thinks it's funny to make fun of people who look different than him. Or you put them all together because, haha, look at these black people. Haha, look at these Asian people. Haha, look at these Hispanic people. Like, we need to start calling this shit out, man. And enough people need to bring attention to this. But see, when they do it, their cult-like fan base thinks this is how you do it.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It was a joke. You don't know comedy? You don't know comedy?
The joke is they're not Japanese. I know, motherfucker. I'm aware what the bad joke is.
You know what it was? You know what it was? It would be like if you did, and this is one of the few comedies I absolutely love, but I'll do it in one. But I was gonna say Blazing Saddles. If you did Blazing Saddles today, what would happen? But I'm gonna even go farther than that. If you did Airplane today, because that's even worse. That's even worse, right? And I love that movie, but that's even worse. You can't do that. Or Revenge of the Nerds. You couldn't do Revenge of the Nerds today. But it's that type of mentality of not understanding like what's acceptable, right? Like, I don't get it.
Hunter is so online that Carlito might end up being collateral damage. He might just let him go, just so that he seems like the good person in the fans' mind. Like, oh, he got rid of this guy who was the racist or whatever. So now Triple H gets another winner.
I don't see their fans upset about it though. That's the other thing. I don't see like you get into that.
But they don't have to be upset if they get rid of him, it's going to show like, okay, like again, like
because you got that double standard between AEW and WWE, and part of that is.
Could you imagine if Tony Khan had that same segment?
No, but part of that is the AEW fan base would not put up with it. They'd be like, "How did you let this get on TV? Like this was a tape segment. How did you even let this get on TV?" And they would have burned him alive because
you saw what happened with Max Caster. They did it with him. So.
Right. It's because they expect better. With WWE, everyone expects like the bottom worst. And I'm sorry, you need to judge them both on the same level of if you get mad at AEW for doing it, then you gotta get mad at WWE for doing it, and vice versa, because there are some things people, get mad at WWE for that they let AEW slide for sometimes. So it needs to be the exact same, or
if we're being fair, honestly, the WWE should be criticized more because they are the leader. They are the leader, man. It's just how it goes. It's how it goes. That's how it's supposed to. That's how it goes with anything. That's how it goes with anything, man. But I hate that place. I hate that place, man. Like I hate. There's not many things in life that I hate. WWE is one of them.
This is why I secretly hope that MVP is allowed to just do shit that I think I have followed him on Twitter for pretty much I got on Twitter. And if you followed him for any length of time, you know what kind of guy he is. You know the kind of things he thinks. I absolutely believe that he sees whatever they're going to do in AEW as a chance to do a lot of things that are going to probably be eye-opening to a lot of people.
Oh, if
you
like Swerve, like, okay. If you like Swerve, you might not like MVP.
Because
he said Nana was checking his job, and I was like, okay, all right, here we go.
Yep. Like I think we're gonna go there. I think he's gonna be like, people can hate me, but this is stuff that probably needs to be said in an open, to further a debate or discussion on things that I think he's going to go there. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't go there. But if you've heard me talk about this on the Discord, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So,
do you think that he's going to end up doing one of those post-show pressers at any point?
Oh, hell
no. I feel like he might get those kind of.
I you know what? I never even thought about that. That would be, I mean, the thing is he is very well spoken, and he's very well and if you get him just being able to go off, like I'm fully expecting them to go off on the fact of like him mad that, of his past versus like Swerve's past, and him being like, I had to do all of these things and I had to be, this person I didn't want to be. Like, I almost wonder if we're going to get a thing where he just like takes off his shirt and you see the tattoo that we've never been able to see on WWE TV. I wonder if we're going to have that happen. Like,
I doubt it, but
I'm just saying, I'm wondering if we're, I'm wondering if we're going to, like, that to me would be the far, like, if that happens, that would be all.
You know what the type of things I've done, the type of people that I've had to hurt, and then you, Mr. Suburb, you come out here swerving at yeah, man, let's do it all. Let's do it all
with your eye makeup and your, are you really a man? Like I am expecting a line like that, something like, I really think they're gonna go full bore. I don't think people are ready for it. So,
all right, Chase, Joe Koff. You've been trying to bring Joe.
Joe Koff passed away. He ran Ring of Honor from 2011 to
2021.
He saved Ring of Honor multiple
to
times.
saved Ring
Game
of Honor.
Honor, right?
I mean, I Mike Johnson wrote an amazing piece that everyone should probably go.
Yeah, I've talked a lot of shit about him, and I'm not gonna lie. That was good.
He did his job. Very good piece talking about like him, how he saved. And the thing is him saving Ring of Honor is probably has a lot to do with why we have AEW in a lot of ways.
Very much. Very much.
I mean, he's the one that helped the Bucks and Cody put on, All In. Without him saving Ring of Honor, do the Bucks and Cody have that platform and Kenny have the platform that they had? All of that stuff. So it's really sad. But apparently he was a longtime fan. All of those things. And the weirdest thing about that I did not know was how much, and it makes even more sense. I'm not defending him, but if you read that article, it makes more sense of why Jim Cornette is the way he is when it comes to like the Bucks and Omega and all of that, because it makes a lot. It makes, not defending it, but it makes more sense.
But I get it. Look, I've always understood it. It's just the way he goes about it.
Right.
I've always with Jim Cornette, in terms of how he actually feels, I will never criticize that because I know he hates Kenny Omega. He hates the Young Bucks. It's people like Eric Bischoff and them that I hate. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But about Joe Koff, I think without him, modern wrestling in general might not even look the way that it does. Like, it might just be the only show in town here would probably just be the WWE. Like, if you really think about it, that actually matters. You know what I mean?
You might get like that indie version of NXT. That might be the only thing you really get.
The only thing, because think about it this way: even like New Japan's popularity in the United States is owed to not Kenny Omega like people think. It's really the Young Bucks, man. And me and Josh will talk about that a little later, but it's really owed to them. And without like their platform they had in Ring of Honor, thanks to Joe Koff, I don't think we get the New Japan boom quite the way that we did over here. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, like we owe this dude, this guy, like, just in terms of pro wrestling history, is one of the most important figures we've ever had. You know what I mean? And I'll talk about that a little more.
In a very in the background kind of way, even though he was the kind of the figurehead for Ring of Honor in a lot of ways, but he still was in the background. He was still maybe more of what Tony Khan should be, but
he didn't back down from WWE on 2 occasions. First suing him for tampering with the talent, and then suing them for the MSG date.
Right.
Which I fucking respect. I pump my fist over. Let's go, Joe. Fuck these niggas, man. I was so on his side. Let's go. And he got it. He got that shit done, man.
Yeah, wrestling in the last decade looks so different if Ring of Honor just disappears in 2011. I mean, like you said, I mean, New Japan was. I mean, I started watching New Japan or started following New Japan in 2013, which was like before the partnership officially happened. But I still think that they would have found a way into the US, but it would have been a lot harder. And I think Ring of Honor and that partnership helped just further that exposure. Because I mean, if you think about it, if there's no Ring of Honor, the only place you have really is TNA, and they were still on rocky terms with Okada and everything that happened there, and that whole 2010s period was just so tumultuous for TNA that who knows if it even would have worked. And yeah, like you said, it allowed for both the popularity growth of New Japan to an extent, just giving it exposure to people who like we're the super hardcores that are going to go seek it out online and back then before before New Japan World was even a thing. When I remember buying the 2013 G1 on what was that?
Ustream.
Ustream.
150 bucks, bro.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Edwards, every fucking penny. Like.
Yeah, bro, that was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and for the fans that weren't willing to do that, the joint shows and just seeing them, chopped up and put on ROH TV was probably their first exposure to people like Nakamura and Tanahashi and all the various New Japan talent that followed afterwards. And, the later part of the decade, it gave the Elite that platform in the US to grow and the Bullet Club brand to grow. And yeah, without it,
think about how all those Bullet Club shirts that you saw. Just imagine that without Ring of Honor. Just think about that. It would not have been the same, man.
You still would have had Bullet Club, but Ring of Honor just gave it the constant US platform, because it's not like at that point that New Japan was running shows regularly in the United States. So
the two things for me for Joe Koff, man, was I put this on Twitter, is that, when you used to go to the Ring of Honor shows, Kerry Silken would be in the front door, literally greeting the fans as they walked in. And Joe Koff continued that I would call it tradition. He continued that. And he very much seemed like he was welcoming the fans as they came in. He was very thankful that we bought a ticket and was able to come to the show. So seeing something like that or experiencing something like that multiple times with him just definitely made me feel special as a fan. So I appreciate him for doing that. And also appreciate him as well for not selling the company to WWE.
Yes, that was going to be my next point.
You can say what you want about Ring of Honor. Ain't nobody really watching. We get it. But the fact that it is not in the hands of WWE is so much better than if it was. And, the fact that someone else has access to not only all the trademarks and everything, but they have access to the library, eventually can do something with it. I very much appreciate that, because he could have gave that to WWE. Easily.
You could have given that to WWE, and then eventually we get their version of the story of All In, right? Because you wouldn't be able to tell if you don't have that library. You can't tell the story of All In, really.
Oh God!
Imagine that. Because you're not getting like the rise and fall of ECW type DVD if they're doing like All In. Why was it important? Whatever they would do, but anyways.
Yeah, and plus too, not only Ring of Honor was just the sort of, if there was no Ring of Honor through that 2010 period, like we said, there wouldn't be an AEW. So it more naturally fits that AEW has all of that stuff. And then another point to bring up as well is that, to the detriment of the company, during the pandemic, he went out of his way, and Sinclair went out of their way to pay all those wrestlers, despite the fact that they weren't working. And they really took care of the talents during COVID. Again, to the detriment of the Ring of Honor itself. So they
handled COVID better than everybody, and he killed the company.
In terms of like a public health and safety standpoint.
Which is funny, because when all of that went down because of Sinclair and how people view Sinclair, people thought it was probably going to be the exact opposite, and it wasn't. It was like they ran it better than everybody.
Hell, remember, even like there's some guys that we hadn't brought up, guys like a Jonathan Gresham that owes a lot to who the fuck cared about Jonathan? Now he's back to who the fuck cares about Jonathan Gresham. But there was a point in time where he was the hottest dude, like one of the hottest dudes in all of
I'm
wrestling.
number 10 on the PWI.
Yeah, exactly. Before that. But he was one of the hottest dudes in all of wrestling, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Joe Koff kept Ring of Honor going during the pandemic. Like, Jonathan Gresham benefited so much from the era of Ring of Honor that, it's just wouldn't be taught. You wouldn't even think about it if they, folded. Like, it's just crazy to think about, man. So many things that he is connected to is kind of wild, like a butterfly.
Most people on there, Jay White, Ospreay, Punishment Martinez, like all these stars in the industry, man. Like
all these guys.
That's been the story of Ring of Honor forever. But the fact that under his umbrella, it's a big deal.
Yeah, all those excursions, man. Like, people complain about the House of Torture, but Evil was on excursion in Ring of Honor.
Oh my gosh, Watanabe! Remember Watanabe?
You know what I mean?
Oh God,
that was terrible.
And let's just be thankful that the ROH library is not collecting dust somewhere in a warehouse like the Dragon Gate USA library is.
Oh my Jesus! Why
Dragon Gate involved?
Why did you bring that up, Sean?
It's just right
Oh
there.
my God, man.
Look,
I just want Tony just to make a bid. Like, bro, keep WCW, keep ECW. Give me the rest. Like, you're not doing nothing with it, man. It's just a shame.
Given how much apparently he wasn't a fan of Johnny Gargano, I don't know how much he would even want the DGUSA library. But
I mean, there's other stuff that you would want on there because you've got
yeah.
I mean,
Moxley,
you
don't want to see Kamikaze USA old tapes.
Yeah,
but Danielson's run when he came back to Indies.
Like, saying Mercury Rising, the first show, like that's a historical show. You know what I mean? That was the first time that really Dragon Gate tried their hand here in the United States. You know what I mean? It's a company still.
Which show is that?
That's the first one. That's the very first pay-per-view.
Open the historic gate.
That's the one I made fun of for the boring ass video. The boring ass video packages.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is that. Yeah.
Which is the one we went to? That was
the second Mercury Rising y'all went to, right? What did
Phoenix? I don't know.
Phoenix, I don't know.
We went to a bunch. We went to Atlanta show.
Yeah, we went to the Atlanta show. The Atlanta show was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
That Phoenix show was hell.
That Phoenix show was not good. That Phoenix show was not good.
But yeah, I would love to be able to watch all the shows again, man.
All right, so y'all
with all of the redacted talent that is on those shows.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man,
just a little bit. Okay,
so y'all all watched King of Pro Wrestling?
Yes,
I saw it.
I think the three of them did. I have not had a chance to see
it. I thought it was a great show. I thought that other than the House of Torture section of the show, it was a lot of fun. And even that stuff didn't overstay its welcome. It was fine. And I thought it was really effective because I know we're going to talk about Tanahashi. But after, he announced his retirement, they jump him. And then the crowd is just like fucking pissed. Like, look, man, I say it all the time on this show. It fucking works, man. I cannot sit here and say, oh, this isn't working when this crowd is losing their mind. I can't. Like, I'm a realist, man. Like, when
it's
people
not for us. It's
just not for us, bro. It's just that simple. Like, I'm not gonna be a hater though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I thought the show was great. I thought that this show flew by, did not feel long. The junior title match I thought was fantastic. I thought the main event was probably the best match you can get out of Tetsuya Naito. I thought David Finlay and Hiroki Goto was really fucking great. I thought, what else was on this show?
Wait, the junior title match you like? Didn't it go like a minute?
The junior tag title match.
The tag. Yeah. The tag title match was fun, yes.
Yeah, the debut of Caveman Ugg.
That was fun. Caveman Ugg was awesome, man.
Caveman Ugg was all right, yeah.
And I love that Vadlik Fale was like, let me get out the way and just let him do his thing. He took like one bump against a guardrail the entire match. And he just stood and just let him wrestle, which was the way to go because nobody would.
I didn't see the first Hiromu and Mystico match. I heard it was okay.
Yeah,
I didn't really care for this match that was on the show. I thought it was a little disappointing. The opener was kind of disappointing, right?
I don't think they have good chemistry, man. I don't think like it was fine, but I don't think they have good chemistry. It's just something you would
probably
think
a lot of Hiromu trying to do like crazy ass shit and Mystico being like, we ain't doing crazy ass shit. It's probably a lot of that, I would think.
Maybe. I don't know because they did like a the chain wrestling. You get it, and they just seemed like off. Like one was ahead of the other. Then the finishing sequence, that submission that Hiromu's been using, took them so long to lock it in. It was just it just doesn't work. But they're gonna do a match in Mexico, and it's gonna sell out Arena Mexico, and Hiromu's gonna get his hair cut. That's what it's just we can see it coming. So
they're gonna do a mask versus hair match.
Of course, that's coming. That is coming. But yeah, I thought the show was great. I thought Zack Sabre Jr. winning the title was super effective. Like that crowd fucking loved Zack. And
it seemed like they wanted it to happen. Which was
man, and they hate Shota Umino. They can't stand Shota Umino. But yeah, man, I major thumbs up to New Japan for that show. Major.
So who do you think? So who do you think is going to be his opponent at Wrestle Kingdom?
I don't think he's going to defend the title at Wrestle Kingdom. I think it's going to be at the joint show.
The Wrestle Dynasty?
Yeah, whoever Tony Khan doesn't mind having lose, that's who he'll face for the title. Jack Perry. That will work, though, but nah, he's not.
It could be the next Danielson match.
I mean, that's what I thought, but after that,
after the angle, that's where I was at. But then they did that angle. Yeah,
I could see them maybe, since they did the Umino tease, maybe they try to have Zach defend the title twice on both shows.
Do they?
But I could easily just see them like Markeem said, doing the tag on or doing maybe like a setup tag on the 4th, and then the 5th's the actual title.
Well, do they do one more? Even though this would be stupid, do they do one more Tanahashi?
No, God, no.
Just try one more time.
I love Tanahashi, but no. Nah, you know what? They could try, and I think could work. Shota Umino joining Jon Moxley, and then this is how you heat him up. It could work because this might just be what he needs. Just lean into him being a heel.
Shoot the arrow.
Just lean into him being heel. Might be a good way to do it.
Yeah, I think with him is going to be like really what it was with, if we're using like New Japan examples like Naito, I guess Nakamura, he's probably going to need that heel run before he becomes the face that New Japan probably wants him to be eventually.
Yeah, like his current character is not the final product. You know what I mean? It's not. So yeah, I'm with you, Sean.
Yeah. And I actually did watch King of Pro Wrestling right before the show. I did squeeze it in, and I thought it was a pretty good show. I would say probably the top 2 matches were my favorites on there, and a lot of what was underneath was pretty solid. And the House of Torture stuff was the worst stuff on the show, but I didn't think any of it was like offensive or anything. And the junior title match was, incredibly short, which hey, that's totally fine with me. I don't mind that at all.
So they had that brawl beforehand. So.
Yeah,
and the brawl was fine. It wasn't bad. The Master Wato coming out though was like a wet fart though. Like who the fuck wants to see Master Wato at Wrestle Kingdom? But that's
maybe the ugliest wrestler in New Japan. I think.
Master Wato.
Yeah. I've always from the moment he went on Excursion, my feeling was that he should have come back as a masked gimmick, like maybe something new, or make him like Tiger Mask 6 or whatever. Because he's an ugly dude. Let's not kid ourselves. He's ugly. He's got a horrible face, especially for a company that values a lot of good-looking guys.
Oh yeah,
not to steal the.
My lady calls it the most fuckable pro wrestling company.
Not to steal the name from the Noah stable. Good-looking guys, but
yeah. Show my girl some New Japan, see what she thinks.
He's ugly. He really is.
Yeah, he's weird looking. It's a weird looking guy, man.
Hey man, President Ace is retiring. That's I mean, I think it's time.
Overdue.
It's time.
Why you got it? Why you have to be? Why are you like that? Just
why
are you that guy?
He said it, not me.
God, man, God.
Oh, so you agree?
Been shot for years.
I mean, for sure. Of everyone on here, I am probably the lowest. I've always been the lowest on Tanahashi. So.
Really?
It was funny.
What is that?
Me and Josh used to get in arguments about this. I'm like, this dude is incredible. In 2007, I tried to tell Josh, like, this man is incredible. He was like, I don't see it. He doesn't lay it in enough. He's not crisp enough. He's like, there's so many guys better than him. I'm like, Josh, this dude, like, I'm telling you. And then
you saw it in
5 years later, he was like, you know what? Okay. It took about 5 years, Josh?
Probably, yeah. And I was still never as high. Like, I still thought there were better dudes than man. When he got. No, here's the thing. When New Japan was at his worst and he was at the top, right?
What year was that? What year was
That'd
that?
have been
the first time I saw Tanahashi was 2008. That TNA show that they did with him. Which might be Wrestle Kingdom 2.
2007 to about
right, okay.
Till
Okada
and Nakamura, probably that era. Like, he was definitely the best guy, but there was just so like I liked Nakamura, but I liked Nakamura just because he was just originally, because people don't remember this, he was just like an ass kicker. Yeah, he was just like an ass kicker. But then he came back from Mexico and was completely different. And like, I didn't like the face gimmick of Nakamura as much as I like the heel gimmick of him, but that's just a me thing.
Same, bro.
I think everyone's like that.
I think everybody agree with that.
Like,
right. That's like Naito as well. Like,
yeah, like, but then like, I saw it. I'm not going to say I saw it right away with Okada, because anyone that says that, I think, is being really stupid. But I would say, I think within 6 months, you started seeing, wait a minute, there is something here that none of us saw, that, and I think, to me, that's the thing. Like to me, Tanahashi, without Tanahashi, I don't think you get even to that, because people do not remember how bad New Japan was before, Tanahashi got stabbed. People don't remember how bad that company was, and where it was, like, where that company was just in Japan, as far as where people saw it, all of that. He deserves all the credit for that, I think, even though I was never super high on him at the time, but that's just, again, that's a me thing.
It helped me get into New Japan.
Yeah,
like hearing Dave talk about him and Dave write about him in 2012, and then I watched my first, again, before the Wrestle Kingdom 2 match, and at least in this new era, the first match that I remember was the Suzuki match that he had that year, and it just being completely
Suzuki's greatest match in his career.
The King of Pro Wrestling match, that is the one that's like, okay, whoa, like, I had heard about this guy, and then I had a chance to actually watch him in this match, and it just definitely blown away for sure. So yeah, I can't really speak before that, but at least from that point, I mean, I thought that he was definitely one of the best that I had ever seen, at least.
Look, man, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a point in time, because I'm pretty close to all y'all. Y'all know me. There was a point in time I was like completely like burned out of pro wrestling. All I was really watching was like Dragon Gate and the big New Japan shows. That's all I was watching. But the thing that kept me with this, and I don't know why I was burned out. I don't know. Maybe I just watched too much. But
do you remember what was going on in the American landscape in the early 2010s? Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's probably
the worst.
But man, Tanahashi and Okada, more so, honestly, Tanahashi. I was drawn to him. I was drawn to his story, and I was drawn to the fact that he was not selfish. He was like, look, I need a dance partner. And Okada was the guy that he chose. And that's what saved the company. How many dudes in his position can you think of historically would do what he did for Okada? Okada came back and people were like, this is the guy that everybody chose. And then eventually, thanks to Tanahashi, it was like, holy shit, this is the guy that Tanahashi chose. And to me, that will always be his legacy. Tanahashi is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And if I ever went to Japan, it would be for this trip, but I ain't got no money. But if I ever went to Japan, it would be to see him off. And just the way I felt when he said that this was the end. And even though Chase, like, yes, he's physically shot. Of course he is. But how many wrestlers we see stick around that are physically shot? Tanahashi's no different. And for him to just hang it up, it's so big to me. My favorite moment as a pro wrestling fan was going to G1 in Dallas, and Tanahashi and Okada just look at each other, and for 2 minutes, the crowd just stands up and gives everybody a standing over. I'm sitting next to this guy I don't even know. I don't even know this man, and he's like hugging me. He's like, yeah, New Japan. Like, we're all chanting New Japan. It is the most magical moment I've ever experienced in an arena. Anybody that was there will tell you, just like, it's stuff like that, man, that just when I think about it, makes the hair stand up on my arm. And only Hiroshi Tanahashi has ever provided me something quite like that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. One of the greatest of all time, regardless of what old Truth Slayer up here will tell you.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw Tanahashi live was at that first War of the Worlds show in New York.
I was at the show.
Yeah. And one thing that always stuck with me, especially since the years have gone by, is that he was definitely, out of the major New Japan guys that were on that show, he was definitely the least over of the bunch. Because people were really into Nakamura at that time.
Didn't he work Mike Bennett on that show?
He did.
It did not help. Did not help.
That didn't help. But you also had, in comparison, you had people like Okada, who just looked cool. Nakamura who looked cool.
For sure.
Liger, who was a legend, and then even Kushida, who had already been in Ring of Honor a couple times, and people had already had seen him, and he had already gotten over to an extent, but. It was one of the, and sort of like we were talking about with Markeem and Josh, where I think over time, once people on this side of the world started to see Tanahashi more, I think that appreciation for him grew to the point where he was seen on this and viewed on that same level, at least here in the West, to guys like Okada and Nakamura were at that point. And I think for me, my favorite Tanahashi match that I've seen live, not talking his Japan stuff, just stuff when he's been over here. I still remember seeing that Roderick Strong match, I think in 2015 in the ECW arena. That was a great match.
What was that?
I think I remember that.
That was the 2015 World Awards.
Is that the World Awards tour where they had the 2 nights?
Yes.
Because I was at the show. Yeah, I was at both those shows.
Okay,
I only went to the second one, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that was a great match. Him and Roddy had an awesome match on that night.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. One of the all-time greats is.
I mean, it does mark the end of like this. I think this truly marks the end of this era of New Japan, though. I think that's that's a big part of this, because
isn't it wild how Hiroshi Tanahashi has just been linked with John Cena,
and we might never get it.
You're right.
Well, I mean, the fact that they're retiring at the same time.
Yeah.
If there was ever a chance that they were like, "Yo, you want to do remember Liger came and did the Brooklyn show?"
I don't think anybody would get upset about that.
If there was ever a chance, hey, let's just pull it off. Just go do it.
When is John Cena's career ending? Is it 2026 also?
I think he's going just to the end of 2025.
Yeah.
Listen. Get it together. Do what you need to. Wouldn't that be a perfect final opponent?
It wouldn't be. It don't need to be final, but just make it happen.
Like that to me would be like a WrestleMania match that would get people like us kind of excited.
Oh my god, man! No, do it in Japan. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve that, man. Do it in Japan.
You can do two. You can do two matches.
You can do. I mean, they want to do a big Japan show, so maybe that's.
Oh man, that would be
beautiful, bro.
Oh my god, man.
Now, I don't even care about the match. I just want to see it happen. It's the fact them two standing there, but yeah, the fact that they're linked together, they're the same age. They were kind of comparable as far as bringing their companies out of the dark ages. Everyone knows that WWE with Chris Benoit in 2017, steroids and all that stuff. Cena was the mainstay of bringing them out of that, and then obviously Tanahashi bringing New Japan out of the dark age. I mean, just the fact that they've been linked together for so long, and they're retiring on
the way the fans reacted to them too, because there was a point in time people were tired of Cena, and there was a point in time people were tired of Tanahashi. So yeah, it's all perfect, man. It's all perfect.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
What else we talking about?
I think that's it.
Okay, hold on. Don't go nowhere. So, special announcement. I am super excited about this. Since we've come back, I've always wanted to do
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, wait.
No, go ahead. I'm kidding.
Those shows were okay, by the way.
Yeah.
Go seek out
the match. The catch the match is really fun.
Yeah, go seek those out. But
go ahead.
Josh and myself and our buddy Double Cross King Jacob, we're all doing a Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame show on Sunday, November the 3rd. It's a special edition. We don't even know what time it's going to be yet.
Right.
I'm letting you guys know now, because if you like history and you like talking about shit like this because I'm a nerd about this. Like I engage in the GOAT debates and all the sports and stuff. I like that shit. I like looking at history. I like going back and watching old stuff and all that.
Especially when it's real GOAT debates. Not hey, it's the GOAT of the last 10 years. No, like real
GOAT debates. And
like you're gonna talk.
I've been having
like
so
you're talking
much
quarterbacks. Like you're talking quarterbacks. You're bringing up,
Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, you're bringing up Unitas because you got to bring up, shit like that. You're talking baseball. Baseball is a completely different animal.
You're bringing up Ty Cobb and shit like that, and Satchel Paige and shit like you know what I mean. Right. I'm that guy. You bringing up Kareem when you're talking about hoops. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? And now we get to do it. I know I got some opinions that are going to be controversial. I know Jake and Josh going to have some shit to say to me already about
I've got some that are
people I'm not voting for. Well, I don't want to give away nothing, but just know if you know me, you look at this ballot, you can kind of understand.
And this is, and just so we don't have, none of us have a ballot. Let's just put it that way. This is just us kind of just saying if we had a ballot,
this is what we would do.
This is what
talk about. Yeah.
So I'm so excited.
No idea how long this will be. This could go on for long.
Then I definitely won't be there.
This could go for a long time. Might not. We'll see. But yeah, it's something we've been working on. It was actually Jake's. It was more like I think we've all kind of talked about doing it before, but
Jake was like, no, we're doing this.
I was like, dude, you've never even been on with us. I don't care.
I was gonna say, yeah, wow, I mean, yeah. You want to do a special show? All right, cool. I'm gonna tune in.
So
check it out.
But anyways, yeah. So that's Sunday, right?
How long you been doing research? I've been doing research for almost 2 months.
I mean, I didn't have to do a lot because I pretty much knew.
Ooh, you hear that?
Who
man knows what he's talking about.
No. I knew who I was, but I was like, because I knew last year with who didn't get in and who I would just vote for anyways. So
Young Buck should have got in, by the way.
Oh, I mean, we're gonna talk about that. But the one name without spoiling anything, you want to hear the conversation about Roman Reigns that we have. Let's just put it like that. You're gonna want to hear that. Let's just put it because I'm gonna say some stuff that they're gonna kill me for. So
maybe not. I think this is I'll just say this. I think this year has been the year that
don't give away too much.
I'm just gonna say this year is the best argument for Roman Reigns. I'll say that.
And we'll leave y'all with that. We'll leave. Ooh, I cannot wait, man.
We're talking about Halloween Havoc next time, y'all.
Yeah.
Halloween Havoc. Yay! We gotta have spin the wheel, make the deal. Is that
they're doing that? They did that.
Yeah,
they did that. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see y'all.
Chase was 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Excuse me? 2 weeks. 2 weeks.